Hi everyone, compliments of the day, it's Gado once again. So I have noticed a very disturbing trend that nobody is talking about, and I need to talk about it because it's going to affect fresh graduates and young professionals across the board. I noticed that focus now is more on remuneration, on salaries, and not on value. People are more concerned about what the job is going to give them and not what they are going to be bringing to the table or bringing to the organization. Okay, so to drive my point home very clearly, I'm going to be sharing a very short story about myself. So once upon a time, 12 years ago, after graduation from school, as part of my development plan, I had to talk to one of my schoolmates who was then a staff of a very big multinational bottling company. I told him I needed to learn beyond just the theories in school, and I needed to understand the practicals of control systems engineering. Because at that point, or at that time, that was my favorite course, and that was my core area of strength, and I also decided that I want to become an automation engineer. Okay, so I spoke to him and I said, I want to learn. What do we do? I don't know how you're going to help me. I want to come into your company as an intern or whatever, just to be able to learn. So we decided that, okay, since I am not an employee, whether full-time or temporary, the only way to be able to get into the company and learn is to smuggle me in whenever he's on night duty. Right? So, and what happened was that we began. The first week he smuggled me in and I began to learn. I began to see beyond just the theories in school. I began to understand 420 milliamps. I began to see electric motors work. I began to see how pumps work. I began to see PLCs. I began to see schematic diagrams. I began to see semantic manager. For those of you who are automation guys, you understand with me very well, right? So we had to take that risk. In fact, there was one of the days whereby at the gate we were stopped, because I could not get in. He could not get me in. We had to beg the security guy to allow me in, and he explained to him that I was an intern and all that, and that was how I got in. So why am I bringing this story? So I'm bringing this story up to make you see how we took risk. Not just myself taking risks, he was also taking risk, because if anything happened and I get caught, he will be sacked. And if anything happens to me on the job, he may lose his job also. I may be locked up, and only God knows what will have happened to me. But we took that risk because I wanted to learn. I was eager to learn. And truth is, that was how my automation engineering career began. Because when I came for my NBC graduate trainee recruitment interview, all the questions I was asked, I was able to answer them based on that experience I got while I was being smuggled into the factory. No employer will pay you for your certificates or the certifications you have. No, they will pay you only for the value you bring to the table. They will pay you only for the value you bring to their organization or to their systems. Nobody will just remove money and hand over to you. People pay you for either a product or a service. Okay? Now, the value you bring to the table is a direct product of your capabilities, the skill sets you have, the knowledge you have, and your attitude. And this attitude, these skill sets, and these capabilities come via learning. Okay? You build capabilities via learning. So the question is, how much effort are you putting into learning? How much of your resources are you putting into learning? How much of your time, how much of your money are you putting into learning? What risk are you willing to take in pursuit of knowledge? Because the more you learn, the more you earn. Sometimes you need to work for free to be able to learn. Sometimes you need to take a pay cut to be able to learn. Sometimes all you need is just humility to learn. So using myself as an example, I have spent so much on certifications, so much, it's millions of naira on certification. I've invested my time, my resources, my energy, and I can tell you that it is paying off. So where I am today, for some of us, we didn't just get there by magic. We got there because of the amount of value we are able to deliver. In fact, I recall one of my interviews. After the interview, the panelists stood up and clapped for me, and they asked me, how old are you? How come you know this much? It's just a function of investment in knowledge. So the question is, how much effort are you willing to put to learn? How much risk are you willing to take to learn? There is no boss I have ever worked with that will not want to work with me again. You can find out. There is no organization I have worked with that have not made attempts to bring me back. I've gotten counter offers most times when I want to resign. The question is why? And my answer is value. My answer is solution. So my advice to you out there today as a young graduate, as a professional in your field, is beyond just salaries, beyond just looking for what the job will give you, the focus should be on what value do you bring to the table? What solutions do you bring to the table? What is that thing that your product is solving? What is that problem that your service is solving? So beyond just focusing on money or what you can get, I will advise you focus on value. So please like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more career tips. See you next time.